I know that you were reading about this issue while before coming to the program, and we understand that there are some implications of Mohammed bin Salman taking some kind of or involving himself inside the murder that happened inside the Turkish country, inside the Saudi Arabia consulate there, from what I understand. The question being, what is the mixture of words here? I mean, when Volodymyr Zelensky had visited his first time, the question was why he did not appear in a suit. This time around, the Crown Prince has visited, and that question was completely omitted. When reporters and journalists asked Donald Trump, what is your stance on the journalist that was killed inside the Saudi Arabian consulate in Turkey? And he said, things happen, in a blatant defense towards the Crown Prince. I want to understand how you see these two dynamics going in.
Thank you for inviting me here and letting me talk on very interesting and very important topic. The US-Saudi Arabia relationship, and specifically they reported that the USA and Saudi Arabia are going to sign a defense pact. Now, your first question is regarding the duplicacy that you see. This is nothing new. In this realistic world, people do not bother what others count. It is their own interest, because what Saudi Arabia did should have been criticized and should have been condemned. But instead, USA took side, because USA is quite a bit dependent on Saudi Arabia in the Middle East. Because one of the main pillars of US strategy in Middle East is Saudi Arabia. So they had to save MBS, because MBS was in trouble. So somehow or other USA helped him to survive that crisis. So it is quite likely. And with Donald Trump as the president, who is not much bothered about the humanitarian aspect, had it been probably Jimmy Carter or Clinton, things could have been probably different. But with Trump, you can expect such thing, I feel.
The Crown Prince had taken Saudi Arabia's conventional stance on being the Islamic center of the world to more being based on other economic ventures. They moved out of exporting crude oil and now are looking forward to boosting tourism and other sectors alike. We've seen the likes of rave parties happening in Riyadh. So the culture there, the community there is changing as the leader, Mohammed bin Salman, sees it otherwise. He understands that there are other venues that they might focus on, which may or may not be beneficial to Saudi Arabia. My question to General Shafaat Ahmad, how do you see this as in the coming days? We understand that all these Arab nations are looking forward to a two-state solution inside the Gaza-Palestine issue, but Donald Trump seems to be in the position where it is arming Saudi Arabia with arms. How do you think the geopolitical scenario is changing?
Thank you very much again. A very complex situation there. It's a very, it's a sort of what do you call a wave that has been built there. Now, USA is depending on Saudi Arabia, but is Saudi Arabia really capable in any crisis? Saudi Arabia itself is dependent on others. Is dependent on Pakistan to a great extent, and there is a talk that probably Bangladesh may join with Pakistan to help Saudi armed forces. That means in any case, in case of any crisis, will Saudi Arabia be able to really militarily help to that extent? With Yemen, fine. It's a small country, poor country, you can say, militarily weak, you can play with them. But if it comes to other countries, say Iran or any other countries, how long can Saudi Arabia survive?
That's
What is the capability? They may have equipments, but will they have enough manpower? Will they have enough qualified or trained pilots to fly those F-35s? In the past, we have seen that Pakistani pilots have flown the Saudi aircrafts in the past. It is there. So yes, on paper it's good. It's basically, I personally feel that it is basically MBS is trying to salvage US economy and particularly Donald Trump in return of the help that Donald Trump did to MBS in covering up Khashoggi's murder.
Murder, yes.
Is it probably that way? Because by buying these aircrafts and tanks, it is probably beefing up its arsenal. But when the question of using it comes, is a big question mark. But secondly, on the investing $1 trillion in USA, what is the US debt currently?
$3.5 trillion. $3.5 trillion above.
$3.5 trillion. So add another $1 trillion. It's going to be added up in that. So really, will it really help US economy? I do not know. It may boost up some sort of, but the biggest problem in the USA is, I've discussed in another talk, that it is the generational gap that is taking place in USA. And you will find that in most of the large companies, it is not the US citizens. It is the migrants who have gone in, immigrants, they are taking over the process. And it is others who are even non-migrant, those who are working there, they are working and looking after those companies. It is not the US citizens, because it is probably that's why I say it is probably symptoms of a declining empire.
AI bubble is coming to a bursting situation, especially that Sundar Pichai, Google CEO, had said not to believe the answers that AI provides. And of course, to some extent, Saudi Arabia is a nation that has developed itself as of recent. Of course, is due to the leadership of MBS, as you've said. And he's one of those leaders who have suppressed his enemies inside his own tenure. He had them locked up inside five-star hotels earlier on. These are stories that have already been established. So my question once again to Brigadier General Shafaat Ahmad, sir. You see this new leader, how much acceptance would he get from people in his own country who are much more senior, or those who have supported him? Because first of all, one of the nations of the Arab nation, when you talk about Arab nations, one cannot ignore the Saud family, the Al Saud family. So this family has been running Saudi Arabia for, from what I understand, the last 100 years. And they come from very humble backgrounds, but today they are one of the most richest nations on planet Earth. And because of so, even Donald Trump is inking deals with them. My question to you, before we move on to other segments, would be, do you think MBS has enough acceptance for this kind of new generational activities to be held in Saudi Arabia?
I really do not know, because we do not get the actual picture from Saudi Arabia, because it's a closed society in that sense. So we do not know really what is the situation inside. Now, again, the question is, how many people will they probably suppress? And how long? Is one very big question, because what MBS is doing, it is against the Islamic principles. Well, Wahhabism was probably a little extreme, but then in moderate Islamists, even they will not like what he's doing. So how long time will he survive, we do not know, because for dictators, you can probably buy some time, not all time. You have seen the examples all over the world. The dictators, they have been suppressing people, but at the end, their end had been very bad. So I do not know whether he is probably uniting this country or not, or he is creating division within the country. Because one thing you have to understand, the Arabs in general, if you study their past history, they have been always divided. So people have been taking advantage of the divide and rule.
Of course.
Because they are all tribal society, so they have more loyalty towards the tribe than the nation itself. So those are things which comes, it's very critical. You really cannot give answer in one sentence or one word, yes or no. Because answer will vary from circumstances, from tribe to tribe, from area to area, all these things will differ. And then the ideological gap. Remember one thing, historically, Iran has never been suppressed by anybody.
Yes, also known as
Iranians,
the Persians. Yes.
As a nation, as a civilization, is one of the oldest. Iranians converted to Islam. Islam did not use sword to convert people.
Right.
Iranians themselves converted to Islam. And Iranians had never been subjugated by anybody. So it is very difficult. You have seen how resilient the nation is.
Right.
So if Saudi Arabia, I do not think MBS will ever venture on that thing. Plus one thing, China had initiated and probably they had achieved some sort of détente between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Even Imran Khan had started, it was started probably by Imran Khan when he was Prime Minister of Pakistan, in negotiating between Iran and Tehran and Riyadh. But then after probably it has been taken over by Chinese. And Chinese have been able to sort of make some reconciliation. And one thing, Iranians are not against Saudi Arabia. They are not, so I don't think there will ever be a situation where Iran will physically assault in Saudi Arabia, unless the Saudi Arabia goes and strikes in Iran. Because Iran is not aggressor anywhere. Iran took action, reacted to actions.
Of
Iran
course.
did not
which is their right by their rules to react to defend their sovereignty.
That's right.